In this problem, we have a cantilever beam subject to two vertical loads, each one equals to 10 kips, both of them going downward and spaced as shown here in the figure. We want to sketch the shear and bending moment diagrams, but before we do that, we need to compute the reactions at the support or root of the cantilever. First, we're going to do sum of forces in the vertical direction, and from there we find that the vertical reaction, A, equals 20 kips. That's fairly obvious. And then by doing sum of moments about the support, we find that the bending moment support has to be 180 because we have 10 times 5 and then 10 times 13. Added up gives you 180 kip feet. So now that we have the vertical reaction and the support moment, we can proceed to draw the shear moment the shear diagram. We start at the root right here. And at that point, we have a vertical reaction of 20, so that goes up. Stays constant horizontally until we get to the first external load of 10 kips, and then it goes down by 10 kips. So 20 minus 10 gives you 10, and then that stays constant until we reach the load at the tip of the cantilever, which brings the shear diagram to 0. Okay? So again, at the left, we start with 20, up, positive. Then once we get to the first intermediate load, it goes down by 10. We get to 10 kips, and then constant until the end. The bending moment diagram starts with the support bending moment of 180, and then it goes with a slope of 20 for 5 feet, right? That takes you to 80 kip feet. Now that slope comes from the shear diagram, right? The slope of the moment is the shear. Since the shear is constant, the slope is constant. That 80 can also be found by multiplying 10 times 8, right? If you draw that free body diagram up to that point, then the moment there is 10 times 8, which is 80, which coincides with the value that we found going from left to right. From there, we have a slope of 10, which is the value of the shear, right? So 80 with a slope of 10 for 8 feet brings you to 0, which is, as it should be, the moment at the tip of the cantilever, 0. Okay? So again, we start with a bending moment of 180, negative 180, and we are moving in the positive direction with a slope of 20 for 5 feet. So that goes from 180, negative 180 to negative 80, and then a slope of 10 for 8 feet brings you to 0. Again, a straight line in both cases. Straight line because the shear is constant.